Hi there, welcome to your Algebra 2 exam. I know you're excited, aren't you? Oh, you'll be fine. Here we go. Have faith in me. I'll lead you in the right direction. So here we go. Number one, they go, which list of numbers shows in decreasing order? You get your list of A, B, C, and D here. Decreasing order, I would change all of these to decimals. So I'd change that guy to a decimal, this guy to a decimal, the fractions. Put everybody as a decimal, and then list them, biggest, smallest to least, and then go back and figure out which one that applies to. Number two, what is the value of the expression? All you gotta do is work this out. Make sure you follow order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, PEMDAS. Number three, what is the value of 2x minus a set 3x plus 1 squared when x equals negative 2? So just plug in negative 2 in these two places for x and solve it out. Make sure you follow the order of operations. And number four, we're going to simplify this expression, but I want you to really keep in mind this is like a negative 1 right here, and you need to distribute that guy to everybody and then combine like terms. In question number 5, what is the solution of this equation? So basically solve for x, okay? Get rid of that fraction first, okay? But yeah, get x by itself. Over to the other column, to number 6. We want to solve for y, get y by itself. So here he is. I'd maybe move this group first over to the other side, and then I would take care of that too. But that's just me. Which of these following functions is linear? Keyword here being line. So who basically would line up as y equals mx plus b? Okay. Which one of these looks like that? That would be a linear function. Here's another function. All you got to do, though, is plug in negative 2 for x. Solve this part out and figure out what the function of negative 2 equals. That's an input. Number 9, what is the slope of a line that is perpendicular to the slope of a line that is 4? So this slope here is 4, or 4 over 1. Remember the rules of perpendicular. Okay, we got to do something to them and change something. Number 10 says your swim team wants to raise $75 at a car wash. You charge $4 for a wash and $7 for a wash and a wax. Which equation models the situation? So think about it. You want a total equal $75. It's $4 per wash and $7 per wax and wash. Which of these would represent an equation? Here in number 11, okay, which equation best models a scatter plot? So you can see all the points around here. Which one of these would best model the scatter plot? Kind of pay attention as we go from left to right. We're going uphill, so that could eliminate any negative slopes. Okay. Number 12. Which is an equation of a line that passes through the point negative 4, 4 and is parallel to this one? So you need to work this one out a little bit. I'm going to shrink this off to the side. Bring him over here. So your slope, remember in parallel lines, is the same. So it's going to be 1/2. And you've got negative 4 and 4. Those are your x and your y. Here's your m. So plug it all into y equals mx plus b. Okay? You've got your values for y, m, and x. You need to solve for b. All right, question number 13. Oh, the guy kind of stayed there. What's up with that? Okay. Let's just erase all this then. Maybe. And that won't let me erase. Okay, let's try this again now that I got that erased and out of the way, I think. Looking at number 13. X and Y vary directly. Okay, this was direct variation. It was Y equals KX. So what you need to do is plug in 6 for Y, 1/2 for X, and solve for K. And then you just replug it back in. Y equals your K that you get times X. So one of these is going to be your K. If you don't get one of those four, you better check your math. 14, which ordered pair is a solution of the system of equations? Meaning, where does the two lines cross? That's what a solution means for a system. Where do they cross? Okay, now we want to know which system of equations has an infinite amount of solutions. Meaning, if you were to combine all these terms, all the x's, all the y's, and all the numbers would cancel out. Which one of those would that apply to? And question number 16, you need to solve this system of equations. So this one's kind of nice because all you need to do is finish solving for x. Once you get the x here, plug it into this equation and solve for y. Then you've got plug in x and y here and solve for z. She gave you a nice warm and fuzzy one there. If you're not sure, come and ask, but that's all you got to do. Solve for x, then solve for y, then solve for z. Keep plugging in your values once you get them. This one wants to know which, in this inequality, which of these are a solution. So solve for x. But remember, if you multiply or divide a negative past this inequality, it's going to flip around. Number 18 wants to know which of these four answers does this graph apply to. This would be, since it's a solid dot, would be less than or equal to -2 and greater than 0. Remember, it's got oars going out like a boat. On question 19, which ordered pair is a solution? So you got your values for x and y right here. Just plug them in to each one of these. You have to do 4 small problems and figure out which one works. Like when you work it all out, is it less than 4? If it is, it's a solution. Or if it's not, or if it is not greater than 4, and this one, then it doesn't work for that one. So which of these does 3 and -2 satisfy the inequality? Here you have a graph of an inequality. Okay, it's a dashed line right here, and they're shading above. Remember, if it's going above, it's probably making you greater. So which of these do you think this would apply to? Number 21, you need to solve this absolute value equation. Please remember that you need to set up 2 equations. So the first one's going to look just like this, and then the second one, you're going to say, okay, 2x minus 4 equals -2, and solve. So you should have 2 solutions. On this one, which of these functions represents the graph? If I were you, I'd simply just plug these into my graphic calculator. If you need help with that, ask. Question number 23. For this function, okay, -x squared minus 6x minus 7, find the vertex and the axis of symmetry. Psst, plug it into your graphic calculator. Once you find that axis of symmetry, it'll also tell you what the vertex is. Okay. Question number 24. So this is standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c. Standard form for a quadratic opens down. Which of the following must be true? If it's going to open down, is it a's got to be less than 0? A has got to be greater than 0, C is less than 0, or C is greater than 0. I really hope we remember which letter we always had to look at. Number 25, we get a factor. Factor this expression right here. So make the X box, remember? So you're going to go A times C, which would be a negative 21, and your B is a negative 4. So you need multiplication facts right here. That'll give you a negative 21 and yet a negative 4. Then make your box. First box, first term, so that's x squared. Last box, last term, which is negative 21, and then you fill in the rest and factor that out. We're also going to factor number 26. I'm going to help you out here. There's a GCF you can take out of here, which is a 4. So this is now going to be 2x squared plus 7x plus 3. So factor this part, and remember in your final answer, as you can see, the 4 should just go in front, which kind of makes you think, who's not going to be a solution? On number 27, you just got to solve this equation. Solve for x. On 28 to 31, we're going to use a set of data up here, okay, to answer actually 28 to 32. Remember, mean is your average, where you add them all up and divide by how many numbers you have. The median is the middle number. The mode is the number you see the most. And the range is this, when you take the high minus the low. But I would rearrange these numbers first from least to greatest. That would be prudent of you to do. Then you're going to take those numbers down here and you're going to make a box and whisker plot. It's no big deal. Okay. Remember, you want to split your numbers in half. Okay. And then take the upper and lower half and split them in half. Then that's going to be your box. All right. You want your minimum, which is your lowest number, your maximum, which is your highest number. The lower quartile is going to be the last number. It's going to be the middle of the middle. Same with the upper. Median's the exact middle. So draw that out here. If you need help, complain to Mrs. Tressa. Ask Mrs. Tressa. So, okay, number 33. You got to find the slope. She gives you the equation right there. Just remember, this is x1, y1, and x2, y2. Make sure you simplify. On number 34, you're to write this in slope-intercept form, that equation, 6x minus 4y equals 12. You need to remember, slope-intercept is y equals mx plus b. Get y by itself. Then, identify the b and the m. Remember, b is the y-intercept. It's going to go on this line here, plot it, then put in your slope. Up 4 over 2, up 4 over 2, whatever it is, and draw your line. On this problem, you can solve this system of equations by either graphing it, using substitution, or elimination. So if you wanted to graph it, you got to get them both in the slope-intercept form. Me, on this one, I'd probably just do elimination. And I'll kind of show you why. I would take this equation and multiply it by 2, because then when you multiply everything by 2, actually negative 2, like that, now you're going to have a positive 4y here, and those will cancel out. Remember, combine all your other terms and solve for x, then plug it back into one of the equations and solve for y. On number 36, you need to graph this system. Don't forget to shade. Okay, so you got to graph x is greater than or equal to negative 1, and y is less than or equal to 2x plus 2. This is kind of nice. He's in slope-intercept form. There's nothing to change. He's just crossing the x-axis at negative 1. This one you need circles. Is this a vertical or a horizontal line? It's crossing at negative 1. Is it going to be a dotted or solid line? This one, identify the b and the m and plot your line. Is it dotted or solid? Solid. And then shade. Don't forget the shade. If it's greater, it's pushing you up. If it's less, it's pushing you down. If it's a vertical line, less is always left. On question number 37, you need to find the axis of symmetry and the vertex point. Okay, you can find the axis of symmetry by plugging in the values into this equation here. All right, and you could put that number there, which would also be the x value of your vertex point. Then I would graph this in your graphic calculator. Okay, then pull up the table of values and fill in the rest of your coordinates and graph them. Number 38, you got to find this product. You can FOIL or you can box. Most of you seem to like to box. So remember, you kind of set it up like this: 2x minus 1 there, 4x plus 5 there. Make sure you combine like terms. Then we are factoring on 39 and 40. Don't forget to do the x box, x, then the box. I talked about that in a previous problem. Remember, once you find all your multiplication facts you need, first box first term, last box last term. There are no GCFs here. These are all ready to go. And I believe that's the end of your exam. So I hope this helped you out. Have a great rest of the day.